If you've not watched the first part of this teaching series on wealth maximization in politics, go back and watch that first one because I lay the foundation for the series and I introduce an interesting concept of management. Now, today we're going to be looking at the wealth maximization that comes from the physical territory or natural capital. I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Chung, a political leadership strategist, author of the book Political Change, and president for Kenley College, where we provide leadership training and strategy for new and aspiring politicians. Far too many decision makers in our countries do not appreciate the real wealth value found in the nature around them. That's whether you're looking at your forests, the trees, water, living organisms, minerals, etc. Nature in itself is full of wealth potential. But when you do not know how to maximize that wealth potential, and sometimes it means simply how to package nature, you miss out on price negotiation even before you reach the negotiating tables. If you're looking for businesses, whether they're small, medium, or large businesses, to sell to the local community or to export, you have to know, how do we maximize this wealth so that it's beneficial to not only those businesses, but our economy in general? If you take a look at some of the world's poorest economies, you'll notice something that is consistent with them. When they do export, they're only exporting raw material. They're not exporting value-added products. They don't know how to properly package what they have in terms of tremendous wealth potential. And if you look at some of them, they've got tremendous wealth potential right in nature. But they've missed the management principle. They've missed how to maximize the wealth through management. Let's take, for example, your sugarcane crop. From that, you can get basic sugar. Mix it in your tea and coffee, probably your favorite drink. Some people put it in some cereal. Another country might have the same sugarcane crop, and from that, they make ethanol fuel. Now, do you realize you're dealing with two different price points because of the value added created from the same natural product? A raw diamond costs far less than when you cut it and you polish it for the market. And then what about sun, sand, sea, and coconut tree? See, I was born in a little country called the Bahamas, and this sun, sand, sea, coconut tree, which other Caribbean countries have, is packaged so well in the Bahamas that tourists from all over the world flock to that country year after year, in and out of the tourist season. The same thing happens in Jamaica. Barbados also has a great tourist product. But they had to take the sun, nature, sand, nature, coconut trees, nature, and they had to package it in such a way that people want to return to the countries and they want to spend their tourist dollars, which benefit those countries. Now, are there other countries that have beaches? Yes, but if those other countries don't manage the natural product well, the beaches get run down. And which tourist do you know wants to go to a rundown beach? These countries have wealth built into the very foundations of their nation, the earth. So you can have loads of countries that have wealth built into the nature, the atmosphere all around them. And some have learned to manage that wealth well, while others haven't. To ensure the trade linked to biodiversity is sustainable long-term, you'll have countries having seasons where they allow harvesting, seasons where they allow mining, seasons where you can access certain resources, and seasons where they call it an off season, meaning you can't touch it now, you can't access it now. Why? because for now, it needs time. The soil might need time to rest. The ground might need time to rest. It might need time for that product. It could even be products in the sea to develop, to grow and to develop and to mature to the size where they are saying, yes, that size can be harvested. That size can be used. And when you follow the principles related to management and harvesting and mining according to the appropriate seasons, then you are maximizing the wealth in your nation. It doesn't matter what natural resources you may have in your country, in your community, in your city. You have to manage it well, because what we are learning even from this series is that even nature has to be managed well. As Dr. Miles Monroe said, what you do not manage, you lose. You could lose it outright. Or you might not lose it outright, but you could lose the vast potential benefits locked inside of it. So that means you don't get all the benefits. You don't maximize the wealth inherent in that natural product. Your ability to influence what happens in your nation's natural capital is not limited to the national level. So that's why I want you to understand the benefit of becoming a principled, purposeful leader in government and politics. You can be doing that at the national level and the local level. And we talk about that all the time within our Certificate in Government and Political Leadership program. But I also teach you about the principled, purposeful leader right in this book on political change. You can be an advocate for better price negotiations, for example, for the people in your local community. This could be whether you're working with cooperatives, you're working with farmers groups, maybe there are businesses that you're serving in the community. You can be one who negotiates prices for that community or that group with the government in relation to international trade. So you might be thinking, well, I'm not interested in politics, but you do not realize that you have tremendous political weight to influence government decisions regarding your nation's capital. Just because of the people you work with and just because of your ability to negotiate on their behalf. When we created our accredited Certificate in Government and Political Leadership program, we found that there were people who were being attracted to that program who initially had a very strong aversion to politics. But when we started to share with them what was actually involved in being politically engaged, they started to take it on and they became more and more principled, purposeful leaders right where they were in their countries, influencing government decisions, influencing change. These individuals who have become principled, purposeful leaders in government and politics in their nations have found that the principle of management is key to their success. Well, that's it for today. Now, next session, I'm going to be looking at wealth as it relates to investments, and you don't want to miss that one. That's going to be an eye-opener, and I'm going to give you some tips on what you need to be asking when the investors come knocking. That's all for today, folks. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.